Hey everybody, welcome back to Overland, Florida. I'm Kevin. Katie's behind the camera. Today we're going to be reviewing this CREWYN paddleboard. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what all is included. Alright, right here on top we have the manual hand pump. It's just like a bicycle tire pump. It has a inflate end right here if you want to inflate the paddleboard, and it also has an out, which is the deflate, so you can actually pump the air out of it if you really want to get it sucked down so you can roll it up really tight. Right here is the hose. This hose on one end just screws to either the in or the out on the pump, and this right here is just a generic paddleboard fitting right here. And pretty much 90% of paddleboards all have the same fitting. Let's see. Right here we have a 3-piece paddle. Obviously this is the end, the paddle that goes in the water. This is the midsection right here. This end right here, it's got a really comfortable part that goes right here in your palm, fits really nicely, and there's actually measurements right here, and it adjusts to how high it adjusts to how tall you are, so it's pretty nice. We'll test that out here in a little bit. You have the leash. This connects to the paddleboard. This goes around your ankle, so if you fall off you don't get separated and you don't get stranded out there in the water. You have an included cell phone waterproof pouch. Also has like a little drawstring that you can clip to the paddleboard so you don't lose your cell phone if you were to fall off. You have a little patch kit, and I haven't seen this before in any of the paddleboards that I have, but this is actually a valve tightening tool, so you can remove the valve or tighten it, I guess, if it starts leaking. And you have the rear fin that goes underneath the paddleboard. It's got a little locking mechanism right here that locks it in place so it doesn't fall off. And last but not least, you have the instructions. And here's the paddleboard. We'll go ahead and roll this thing out and get right back with you. So one thing we noticed right away as soon as we opened this up and laid it out, the valve is at the front. Now there's nothing wrong with that, it's just really weird. This is the only paddleboard I've ever seen that has the valve in the front. But other than that, it looks like a pretty good paddleboard so far. So if you want to fill it up, all you do is just undo the little dust cover. You're going to take one end of the hose that has the paddleboard fitting on it, stick it in, turn it like a quarter of a turn. It's going to lock in place. Now on this end, go ahead and find the in or the out, depending on what you want to do. So we're going to be filling this up, so we're going to go ahead and turn this on. Alright, it's locked in place. Now, all you have to do is pump it up. So we inflated the paddleboard to 12.5 psi. The max is 15, and 12.5 seems pretty firm. Plus, you don't have to sit there and pump as much if you're only going to go to 12.5 instead of 15. So we're going to put it in the water and test it out. If it's not firm enough, we can always put more air in it. But this is the leash that comes with it, and I keep thinking this is the back because the valve is over there, but that's actually the front. So we're going to come right over here, and we're going to feed the leash through this little eye hook down here, a little D-ring. Pull it through. It's long enough that it'll reach your ankle when you're standing on the paddleboard. And then of course, last thing we do before we get in the water is put the rear fin in. So let's see, I haven't looked at the bottom of this thing yet. Let's see what the design is. Not really much of a design, but okay. Slide it in, tap it to the back. Lock it in with the pin. Grab your paddle and you're good to go. So for beginner, it's a lot easier to start out on your knees and paddle kind of like a kayak, and then go stand up.
for it.
So what'd you think?
Good. I feel a little bit rockier than others I've been on, but I mean overall it's really good. The seams look good. The leash fits good.
It's not blowing any bubbles, no leaks?
No, it seems like that. The paddle, I was surprised because usually on all the rest I have to put it all the way in for my height, and I almost feel like for people that are a little bit shorter, the paddle's got like a shorter range, whereas I can elevate it a little bit more for me. So it's nice.
So the water test for the paddleboard went well. We didn't notice any defects or anything that would deter us from buying it or telling anyone else to buy it. It didn't leak. We didn't see any bubbles in the water. We have reviewed other paddleboards that were just junk and they leaked, and the ink from the little rubber flooring where you put your feet was bleeding, and it would just run all over the paddleboard and stain it and stain your feet. This one, as you can see, the black, the gray, nothing is leaking. So the material is really good. The seals all the way around are nice and glued. There's nothing sticking out, poking that would get snagged to cause a leak. It's not leaking from the valve, which is in the front. Everything seems to be good. The elastic is pretty strong. If you put valuables in there, I would trust a dry bag, a GoPro, a camera phone, or a dry bag for a camera or anything in there. Like I said, it's pretty good. There's really no complaints. Only time will tell as far as deflating it, inflating it multiple times, how long it'll actually last. But just our initial opening the box and our initial water test, I give this a green light if you want to purchase it. If you are interested in it, you want to see how much it costs or what my discount is, there will be a link in the description if you want to purchase your own paddleboard.